the luxury story in India is very different. It's not like America, which is a East Coast, West Coast story, and a China where everything is one side of the coast. In India, luxury consumption is about finding pockets of riches. Those 100 families in Ludhiana, those 100 families in Vijayawada, and कि Morbi में 50 families हैं who have very deep pockets. So it's not only the T1 and the metros.
Yeah,
कि
absolutely.
सिर्फ UB City या DLF Emporio में लोग खरीद रहे हैं,
no, absolutely.
and girls called Anaya and guys called Vivan are spending their dad's money. It's not that. It's very intricate, and a lot of people, I dislike the entire conversation on old money and new money. People say old money aesthetic and this is very new money and everything. Yeah, new money has a fundamental need to announce its arrival. उसने मेहनत की है. So जब आप किसी मीटिंग में जा रहे हो and you've made it in life, your agency has worked and all of the other things you're doing, and you've made some financial progress in life. So you meet me after 5 years and you're like, okay, ठीक है यार Harinder, I've made it. Bank account तो मेरे को दिखा नहीं सकते अपना, because that's not socially acceptable. How will you signal that success? You'll put a Tory Burch bag on the table. And like, ठीक है चलो, Akriti seems to be doing well. Or if you see कि यार Harinder has a different, तो you can see economic progress is limited. But if I'm wearing a Patek, right? So you know, okay, chalo, theek hai. Banda Patek pehen raha hai. So those are signals of success. And I feel India's story is a new money story, yaar. And there's so much pride and hard work in that. तो आप उसको बोल सकते हो यार कि अरे ऊपर बालमा लिखा हुआ है, Balenciaga लिखा हुआ है, बहुत गॉडी लग रहा है. But ठीक है यार. मतलब let them do what they're doing, no? It's like when I say new money has a need to announce its arrival, it's because these are people who've, in many cases, been who've created opportunities for themselves. And the moment you graduate from a Peter England to a whatever, to a Kanali or to a Xenia, right? Maybe not directly, maybe from Van Heusen to that's an amazing personal journey. So I think luxury is all about just understanding that personal journey. It's about understanding यार कि आप पहले Levi's का पहन रहे थे denim, उसके बाद you graduate, then you slowly go into a diesel denim. You're like, okay, this is very expensive. But then one instance, and I used to love going to the stores to sell, right? Because I didn't come from this industry. I didn't come from luxury. So the only way I could get credibility inside a boardroom was कि अगर मैं customer को बेचूं, and I truly understand, like if I'm very intimate, and I was very young यार when I मतलब you get pushed into a bloody head of marketing position when you're like way younger than what you need to, right? So I was like, okay, so how do I build credibility? So I spent a lot of time on Palladium, folding denims, talking to customers, selling to them. So fun weekends. I used to do a lot of that. One day, one experience really changed me, yaar. So there was this lady who came in and I helped her, right? Like, so you stand outside the changing room. When they come out, you...
Personal assistance.
Like a personal assistant. Like you compliment how it's looking, you suggest a nice fit, you suggest a different wash and blah, blah, blah. They have a very mature ecosystem and very good SOP on how to deal with that. But what she was doing, she was clearly didn't look like the archetype of what you would consider a luxury customer. Okay, तो politely बोल देते हैं. Okay, ऐसे didn't seem like somebody who would buy that brand every day. ये special occasion लग रहा था. And after talking to her for a while, I got to know, okay, she was a mother who had promised herself, okay, once I lose all the pregnancy weight, I will reward myself with a diesel denim. तब मेरे को लगा यार कि यार these are beautiful brands which are personal milestones.
Yeah.
When you finally have this year, okay, I have to buy that YSL bag, yaar. That's a personal milestone for me. And the day you get it, you're like, fuck this shit, yaar.
I've done it. I've made it. Yes.
So I think the fun part about luxury is understanding that these are personal markers of success. Like she was really proud of herself that she had lost all of that weight. You're very proud that you've made it on your own, and hence that YSL bag is a way for you to reward yourself. ऊपर से कुछ different नहीं है. आप smartphone बेचो या home pregnancy test kit बेचो, but this context, what that product is enabling you to do.
Absolutely.
That's
absolutely.
Beautiful.
I think you've put it very beautifully. And I think that's the story of India today.
Absolutely.
Everyone's, trying to make a mark for themselves. We see a surge of founders coming in, people trying to make their own ways, paths their own ways, you know. So I think you're absolutely right when you say that, you know, this is the story of India today.
Yeah.
And there's so many articles about it which say that luxury is doing so well in India. You know, maybe the per capita income is increasing, which apparently is like, yes, it is, but not for the, you know, below 20%
Yeah.
people, right?
Yeah.
If you still see the per capita of income of people below 20% of the people in India who are earning well, it's lower than some countries in Africa, you know. But then still we see like a surge in luxury market because of these changing stories, these milestones, as you mentioned. So yes, absolutely.
Yeah, India is a land of paradoxes. No? India is a land of extremities. If we get into the conversation around the guilt that comes with luxury consumption, that's of course we all feel the guilt and income inequality and the Gini coefficient, and there's just so much that are very fair and competent criticisms of the industry. Hey, 100%. But if we for a second just ignore the realities and try to place ourselves within this microcosm, which we do, right? What we call India One, जिसमें आप और मैं है, right? Like people who are, or people listening to this, people listening to our conversation in the English language, like probably don't acknowledge the privilege that they have right now, like having an internet connection,
Absolutely.
probably a YouTube premium subscription, and listening to two people converse about marketing in the middle of the day. So people who live within that bubble of privilege, अगर हम वहाँ करें, then luxury has a very good role to play, यार.
Yeah.
Even if you take the same principle and extrapolate it, ना, the principle of aspiration doesn't change. आप luxury में हो या नहीं हो, यार वो अगर Atlas cycle से Hero cycle भी होती है ना, तो aspiration उसमें भी है.
Yeah.
वो अगर cycle से चेतक है, और वो चेतक से नैनो है,
Yeah.
right? The principle is the same, यार. Human progress needs a sense of social validation. So if I want to, so if in my village my house is the first one to have pakka paint, flexi है यार, flexi करना चाहते हैं ना हम, मतलब that's what we are as Indians. So I think it's kind of the same story, but हाँ, it's a tortured analogy, but हाँ है.
Yeah.
Similarities.
No, absolutely. I think that makes a lot of sense.